Welcome to Philosophy Vibe. My name is George, and today I wanted to present to you 5 mind-blowing philosophies within the realm of metaphysics. Now, as a philosophy-focused channel, we've looked into and studied so many different areas of philosophy, but none are as fascinating, wild, and out there as metaphysics. For those who are not familiar, metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that dives into the fundamentals of reality. It's the subject that science cannot answer, or cannot answer yet. So it's beyond physics, or metaphysics. As such, we find ourselves in areas of time and space, being and identity, mind, knowledge, God, free will, and so much more. And today I wanted to list my favourite 5 metaphysical philosophies that I just find so intriguing and fascinating and can just discuss and ponder all day. I'm going to give you a short explanation of each, but if you're really interested in learning more about any of these, my friend John and I have discussed them all at length. Those videos are available on the channel, so if you want to look into them further, Philosophy Vibe has you covered. I will drop a link to our videos on each of these theories in the description. And with that, let's begin. Dualism. The mind and body are distinct and in fact separate. This is the fundamental belief of the dualist. One of the most discussed and debated theories within the philosophy of mind, dualism is a widely held and strongly argued belief. Going back to the ancient Greek philosophies, but really popularized by the 17th century philosopher René Descartes, he noticed that the mental and the physical are entirely different substances. The physical is spatially located, it has extension, figure, it can be divided. The mental does not. We cannot spatially locate a thought, we cannot see a thought, we cannot see its extension or its figure. So the two are completely different, and if they are completely different, then they are not the same, they are distinct. More so, Descartes reasoned that he can conceive and imagine himself without a body. He can be self-aware, think and perceive. He can imagine doing so without a physical body, which led him to conclude that the mind and body are not only distinct, but also separate. And when we really think about it, there is a lot to support this theory. We often hear of out-of-body experiences, which would strongly support the mind-body distinction. Psychedelic narcotics have users saying their minds travel to other worlds whilst their bodies were still here. Even dreams puts our minds elsewhere while our bodies are laying cozy in bed. Add to that the immense beliefs on afterlives and heaven, where one would of course need their mind to attend but their body to stay on earth. All this together leads dualism into a strongly supported, well-argued metaphysical theory. Well, my mind is blown, but my body remains. They must be separate. The theory of forms. There exists a greater world, beyond space and time. Our world is a mere shadow of this greater reality, of this world of forms. This was a metaphysical philosophy championed by the great ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Plato used his famous allegory of the cave to show how there is more to reality than what we perceive. Much like a prisoner chained in a cave since birth, all they know is the cave and they cannot conceive of anything greater. Plato argued that this material world is our cave, a lesser world, and there exists a world of forms, this greater reality, and within this world of forms lies the perfect versions of every object or idea that we perceive in this world. Whatever we perceive in this reality, let's say an apple, in the world of forms, there exists the perfect apple, the form of the apple, of which all other apples in this reality derive from. Now, this might sound a bit crazy, of course it's metaphysics, but think about it. Everything we perceive in this world falls into a concept, a type of thing. Let's say you're sitting on a chair and I'm sitting on a completely different chair, but we recognize them both as chairs. They are part of the same concept. They share the same concept. Plato argues that in the world of forms, there lies the form of the chair, of which all chairs derive from, the perfection, the ultimate version, and everything we perceive in this world is just representations of the perfect forms. All chairs derive from the form of the chair. All apples derive from the perfect apple, the form of the apple in the world of form. All cats come from the form of the cat in the world of forms. Just like we see two-dimensional shadows of three-dimensional objects, well, the three-dimensional objects in our world are just shadows of the perfect forms in the world of forms. So, somewhere in the world of forms, there exists the form of a YouTube philosopher that I'm the representation of. Brain in a vat. Everything you perceive is not actually real. Everything you know, your entire reality, is not real. In fact, you as you are right now are not watching Philosophy Vibe. You are actually just a disembodied brain floating in a jar. You are in the laboratory of a crazy scientist, and he has hooked up your brain to loads of wires and is projecting this reality onto your brain. Nothing you see or experience is real. You are just a brain in a vat. What a terrifying philosophy, but does it have any merit? The scary part about the brain in a vat is that it cannot be proven wrong. This reality is all we know. We do not know anything further. Then we cannot know we are not a brain in a vat. Although this sounds so crazy, there is no proof that it isn't true. So any knowledge we obtain in this world will always have a giant question mark. Is this really a tree that I'm looking at? Or is it just being projected? Is this really a car that I'm driving? Or is the mad scientist programming it? We can never truly know, and so all knowledge is thrown into doubt. Nothing can ever be certain. This inevitably leads us to philosophical skepticism, never truly believing anything we experience or any of our knowledge. This does make me uneasy. What if none of this is real and I'm just being created on a computer program by a bedroom philosopher? Theological Determinism. If God exists and God is omniscient, then by definition, we have no free will. This is known as theological determinism, also known as the problem of divine foreknowledge, and it is a problem that all theists must face. Omniscience is part of the concept of God, God being the all-knowing creator. However, to be all-knowing, one would have to know future events. It would seem unlikely that God has as much knowledge of the future than the average human. It kind of takes away from the all-powerfulness, right? So, we grant that God knows the future. Well, if God knows the future, then does that mean the future is already written? The future is already decided, it is already determined. Let's say God knows that at 1 PM I will choose to drink a cappuccino. God knew that yesterday. God knew that 10 years ago. God knew that before I was born. Was I ever free not to drink the cappuccino? Was I determined to choose the cappuccino, or could I have chosen a latte instead? So, if God is always right and God knows the future, then all our paths are set. All our choices and decisions have been made before we even exist. God knows that Jane will be a doctor. He knew Jane will be a doctor when she was 10 years old, when she was 2 years old, when she was in the womb, before she was born. Is Jane ever free to be something else, or is she determined to be a doctor? It seems Jane has no free will, and if God exists and is all-knowing and is all-powerful, then we do not have free will either. I guess I was just determined to make this video. What if someone is also controlling what I say, or even my movements? If you are watching this video and you've come this far into it, then clearly you have a deep mind and you are a philosophy enthusiast. So, if you would like to explore more of the wonderful world of philosophy, then please check out the Philosophy Vibe paperback anthology book set. For those not too familiar with this channel, my friend John and I have spent years discussing and debating loads of different philosophical theories on this YouTube channel. We have compiled the scripts of these videos into 3 excellent books that are ideal for those interested or getting into philosophy. We have Volume 1, The Philosophy of Religion, Volume 2, Metaphysics, and Volume 3, Ethics and Political Philosophy. These books will break down all the core Western philosophical ideas into easily digestible debates. So by the end of reading the 3 books, you will have a really great grasp on a wide area of Western philosophy. So yes, if you are interested in philosophy as a subject, these books are perfect for you. They're all available on Amazon, and I'll put the links below. So, our final mind-blowing metaphysical philosophy is Transcendental Idealism. Space and time are products of the mind. They exist solely in our minds, or so believe the Transcendental Idealist. This fascinating metaphysical philosophy was brought forward by the 18th century philosopher Immanuel Kant. Now, whilst we may agree that a lot of reality does solely exist in the mind, things like taste and smell, physical sensation, even colour, these are products of the mind. They don't exactly exist in the external world, but rather our minds create these for us to perceive. Immanuel Kant went a step further and said even time and space were in fact products of the mind. So let's think about this. Time and space exist, but they are not things in and of themselves, nor are they part of other objects. So, what type of existence do they have? We understand space and time, we understand their existence, but we also can't exactly say what type of existence they have. So how is this so? How can something not exist in and of itself and not exist as part of something else, yet still have existence? This is because space and time are intuitions of the human mind. They exist solely in the human mind. Time and space do not exist outside the human mind and outside the human experience. The external world is a timeless, spaceless reality. However, our minds come stocked with a spatial temporal lens. Our minds take the raw, timeless, spaceless data from the external world and filters it, orders and arranges it into something we can understand, that we can process, that we can interpret, exist and survive in. The world we perceive is not the same as the external world outside of our minds, but our minds arrange it specifically for the human experience, for the human to navigate and understand. So, the true external world is beyond the human experience, beyond the human reality. It transcends our experience. And so, we have Transcendental Idealism. So, time and space do not exist in the external world. Time and space are products of the human intuition, and our minds shape our reality for us to perceive. A truly mind-blowing metaphysical theory, but still, I do wonder what the external reality really does look like. Is everything so animated? There you go, 5 mind-blowing metaphysical philosophies. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, we have debates on all 5 of these philosophies on the channel. We really analyze them on a philosophical level, so make sure you check out those videos. The links are below. And don't forget to get the Philosophy via Paperback Anthology book set. 3 volumes. This will give you a great all-round look at Western philosophy, covering all the core topics and the most influential philosophers. The books are available on Amazon, and the links are below. Drop a comment to let me know your favourite metaphysical philosophy, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and share, and for more philosophical content, please subscribe to the channel. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next video.